There are now ice crystals forming on the camera. Please stand by. Welcome back to the channel, Den members. I finally got around to doing a more proper field test on the Nightfox Prowl, a video for which a lot of you tuned into the channel for the first time. And I want to thank every single one of you who has subscribed to the Phantom Llama's Den. We are glad you're here and we can't wait to show you what we have for the rest of 2024. So while I warm up here, I'm going to roll some of that footage and we'll come back at the end with an overall conclusion to what I have found so far. Something I want to note: all the footage that was recorded with the Prowl records in 720p. So please brace yourselves, prepare yourselves for a picture quality that's a little lower than what normally is on the channel. All right, before I even begin, I'm going to apologize for any slurring of my words. It is currently 12 below zero, and we're talking Fahrenheit here. It is very cold here in the Midwest. Now, as far as the picture, I also want to say it looks like it's pretty light out. I'm going to tell you it is actually pitch black. I cannot see more than, let's say, 25 yards in front of me. That is just a testament to this camera's natural exposure time. That said, as soon as I move around, that lag is unbearable. Now, keep in mind, that is without using any kind of infrared. I just want to set that precedent here and now because this is just about the darkest place I can find in my immediate area. Let's go ahead and get into just a basic test here at this park. So first up, I want to address the elephant in the room. Using the Nightfox Prowl, or just about any Nightfox device, in infrared mode without any ambient light. Now, as I mentioned in my first video on the Prowl, and many people have called out, using infrared sensors or infrared cameras without ambient light, the lag time because of the exposure is very unusable. And I'll turn here very slowly. You'll see that there is a terrible lag. It works great when you're holding in one place, like right here. However, if I turn here, it is unusable. Now, let's go ahead and add in infrared light, and if it wouldn't reflect off of my breath, bear with me one moment. It is much better. Oh gosh. So even just adding the first level of infrared lighting makes this so much better. The problem then becomes when you introduce an optic. Oh look, you can see it. However, it is reflecting off of the optic face and the glass, making it unusable. To counter that then, we can add in an exterior light, as seen here. This is an infrared light, a 940 nanometer infrared light. So a family just decided to let their children come out and play in these awful temperatures behind me, so I cannot turn around and face the other way. I am again using the exterior light here. As you can see, I do not have any infrared light turned on the device itself, and you can see that the lag times are honestly not terrible. Also, please forgive the heavy breathing. It is very, very cold, and I am using the integrated recording system, as you can tell. Therefore, the mic is not optimal. Something else I want to call out is this is the first time since the original Swift video that I have recorded using the white filter instead of the green filter. And I'm doing this because I had a lot of comments saying that, you know, the green is pretty nice, but the black and white still seems to provide a better contrast. In fact, I think I am going to switch over to the green filter here and now. And there is the green filter. I think that the black and white allows for a better visual. However, the green and black is just, there's just something about it, and it's easier on the eye, especially at night. There are literally people out for a night stroll when it is 14 below zero. There's something wrong with Iowans. I was actually going to use this time as a good demonstration of when there is enough ambient light. Unfortunately, there are now ice crystals forming on the camera. Please stand by. Okay, it's the next night, and it's a little warmer outside. It's only 6 below zero Fahrenheit now. I have warmed up, so tonight I wanted to do a test of using the Prowl in conjunction with an external light with an optic. For that, I have gotten out one of my old Airsoft guns, and I have mounted my EOTech hollow sight on it, as well as an infrared flashlight. It's a pretty clear night. You can see that there is lag without any kind of infrared light or enough ambient light, as was the case last night. Again, I can really only see clearly through my naked eye, I want to say 25 to 30 yards out. All right, I'm going to turn on the infrared flashlight on my Airsoft gun, and I'm going to sight down the optic. Oh, there we go. All right, I am shouldered. I have a pretty decent cheek weld here. For people that say it's not possible, you're right, it's not ideal. You would need to adjust the monocular a little bit. You would need to adjust the sights, the optic on your rifle or your Airsoft gun, what have you. However, it is possible. I do still recommend having an IR laser. That way you can have a little more of an active aim rather than a passive aim. But here you can clearly see the reticle through the hollow sight. You do seem to still get a bit of that ghosting. I'm counting 3 reticles here. The most clear, the brightest one, excuse me, is the true reticle. But it is possible to shoulder a weapon, look down sight with a monocular, and still get a good sight picture while having a pretty decent cheek weld. Is it the same as when you aren't trying to use NVGs? Absolutely not. However, it is possible. And I figure we can throw on the green filter here for comparison. Same atmosphere, same environment. It's weird. I really do like the green filter. However, I would be remiss if I didn't call out that you can just see so much more. There's so much more contrast with the white and black, and that really does make sense. I will say, however, the green and black filter is just so much easier on the eye, especially when you flip up the optic. It's not as much of an adjustment for your monoculared eye. Oh, and I guess we'll do that as well. Honestly, I think it's a better sight picture with the black and white filter instead of the green filter. Now, for optics' sake, I think I'm going to call this one because I don't need anybody seeing me with an Airsoft gun in the backyard and thinking other things. This is just using the flashlight on my Airsoft rifle. And please excuse the branches down. The snow that we got did some damage to my tree. Gonna be getting this cleared up in the coming week. But as you can see, getting a pretty solid sight picture and not a lot of lag using an exterior flashlight here. That concludes all the footage that I captured with my Prowl. A point of note is that I had it mounted to just this simple helmet here. Nothing fancy. I hope that answers some of the questions for those of you that are still looking at the Prowl for a future purchase. If there's any interest in seeing some footage of me using the Prowl in conjunction with my AR-15 at night for some live fire drills, let me know down in the comment section, and once it warms up, thaws out, maybe we can get something in the spring or even the summer. Overall, now that the honeymoon phase of my ownership of the Prowl is over, I do largely stand behind my initial impressions of the Prowl. Is this monocular on par with proper phosphor tubes or higher end night vision goggles? Absolutely not. This device costs $250. You cannot compare this to a proper set of phosphor tubes. I would venture a guess that you can't truly even compare this to something like a PVS 69. Nice. For those of you that don't know, the PVS 69 is a build-it-yourself device. It's a 3D printed housing, and then you buy all the electrical components and you build your own digital night vision goggles or monocular. That's going to cost you 2 or 3 times as much as this costs. So for the price of $250, you are not going to get a better device. What I'd love to see from Nightfox in a version 2 of the Prowl is to eliminate the 850 nanometer wavelength infrared light. I would like to see them move the 940 nanometer emitter to a different location on the Monocular. And more importantly, I would like to see the device made smaller to fit more in line with the form factor of a PVS 14 or 15. I called it out in that footage of me using this in conjunction with my EOTech on my Airsoft gun. It's possible to get this down and look through the Optic. It's possible to get a passable cheek weld. Is it ideal? Not by any means. And given the choice between using night vision with my Optic versus an IR laser, I would most definitely say the IR laser is the better way to go. However, it is possible and it does work. The visual lag caused by the image processing time of the device when there's not very much ambient light and you're not using an external or even the internal infrared emitters is noticeable. And if there's not enough light, it makes the device pretty unusable. However, the moment you add in just a little bit of ambient light, background light, such as in a more suburban setting, you can see a lot better with this than you do with your bare naked eye. I do want to call out that I was actually very impressed that this still functioned that first night that I filmed in the bitter cold. It was, when I got back to my house, it was actually 20 below zero. And I had left this outside for about 30 minutes before I actually filmed. I got distracted by some stuff inside. Compare that to the battery in my EOTech, which, albeit it's probably at half-life now, I had to swap in a warm, fresh battery to get that to work in the bitter cold the other night. That about covers it. I apologize that I didn't get any of the live fire footage that I really wanted to get using the Prowl in this field test. Let me know again if you want to see that in the future. Maybe we can work something out. I want to thank everybody that has subscribed to the channel over the last several months. A lot of you all subscribed because of the Swift 2 review and the Prowl review. A lot of other people subscribed because of our Temu body armor plate test. If you didn't catch it, we made a pretty huge advancement in our ballistic test procedure. And we had another ballistic test here where we got to test a proper 3A vest. You should check that out after this video. But again, from everyone here at the Phantom Llama's Den, I want to thank you all for your support. If you haven't already done so, please consider hitting that like button on this video and subscribing to the channel. We have a lot of stuff coming in 2024 and we're going to be having a lot of fun. That's going to do it for this video, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider hitting the like button below, subscribing to the Phantom Llama's Den, and sound off in the comment section what you think of these digital night vision devices. Follow us on X and Instagram, and as always, stay warm, don't take life too seriously, and make it a great day.